Hey guys, this is WhatiF here. It's time to talk about the race weekend for the trucks at ORP and the Xfinity at the Indy Road Course, as well as the Cup Series there as well. So, I guess we'll kind of do like a quick lightning round of the other two series quick before we get into everything else, because this is going to be a really rant-heavy episode, and we're just going to naturally kind of build ourselves up into it. So the truck race at ORP was actually pretty good, for the most part, with like parentheses around it, because there was two instances that were pretty egregious. Carson Hocevar being an absolute garbage human being of a racer, which is nothing new to me. I saw him the one last year's self spin to bring out a yellow, which was despicable, and we saw him at Texas put Ryan Preece in the wall like twice to try to get his first win, and that was just stupid. And then here, he just obliterates Colby Howard after Colby Howard bumped him, got him out of the way. Nothing like egregious. And Carson just thought, I'll just hook him on the straightaway. That's extremely deplorable, extremely disgusting. Is this as bad as Noah Gragson? No, only because Gragson took out like 12 plus people. But it's still pretty damn bad, and I feel like that is the line that needs to be drawn, where NASCAR needs to step in and do something about these bitch asses doing just disgusting, deplorable racing ethics. But NASCAR doesn't do a goddamn thing. Or at least in Gregson's case, they did, but it took, media backlash. In the Truck Series, I probably didn't get enough media backlash, but, yeah, that's just awful. Just the fact that NASCAR enables this stuff, and they only rarely seem to ever properly enforce things like this, is just awful. And I feel like there's a really horrific mentality, because I keep forgetting the playoffs even start in the Truck Series now, which that's going to be really wonky with the scheduling, because they have to run the next 6 races in the next 3 months, 3 months and a week or something, so that's going to be kind of spaced out and kind of deflates a lot of the championship stuff that they're trying so desperately to do all these gimmicks with them. Whatever, that was awful. Never liked them. And that just adds to that list of why I don't like them. It's just, I don't know. I never really understood why people like them so much, because I kind of saw through it. I don't know. I guess I just have a really good eye for bullshit. But, yeah. Then we had John Hunter Nemechek booping Taylor Gray. I don't know if it's Tanner or Taylor, but which was a stupid circumstance to begin with, because John Hunter was on better tires. He could have just got around, but no, he just runs him over. It's like these truck drivers, once they get in the playoffs, they think they're so entitled because they are a playoff driver and they're going for a championship that therefore everyone else they just think of them as like lower people or lower competitors, and just race them completely differently to a disgusting level. I don't know. I like John Hunter. And that was bullshit. So I just don't get it. Especially when someone's on better tires and just stupid. That was embarrassing. It's a shame, because the race for the most part was pretty good. But those two elements just ruined it. So that was just disgusting. That was awful. I hated that. I hated those aspects. I hate the mentality of the Truck Series anymore. With just most of the field. And, yeah. So that could be a whole rant on its own. I was thinking about making a separate video about it, because it was just egregious. But Xfinity Series was very ho-hum. Like as if this track is bad. Oh, what a concept. Ooh. But it was just mostly uneventful. The only thing that really stands out to me is Chastain being stupid to Sheldon Creed. Who would have thought Chastain being stupid on track is a shock? Not really, but especially when we had so many regulars in there, and there's not even a good excuse for it anymore. You could be like, oh, well, they're just trying to get track time practice. And it's like, well, the Xfinity and the Gen 7 cars are so radically different from each other. That excuse doesn't even work. Even if you wanted to use that before, it's even more pointless now than ever. So that was just stupid. And especially when a Cup regular goes in the Xfinity Series, messes up an Xfinity regular's season, no matter how you feel about Sheldon Creed or what, or if he looks like Hank Hill, which the memes on that were glorious, but just senseless. Thank God Allmendinger won, because I really didn't want to see a Cup Leach win. So that was just mostly uneventful, at least to my knowledge. Then we get to the Cup race, where this is where we're going to get into the big shit show territory, because I have a lot to say about it. The first two stages were kind of just boring, uneventful. I hate the fact there's stages at these road courses. It's just they don't need this. It just mixes up strategy, throws the field in a freaking tornado with just how bunched up and confusing shit gets, because some people are on this strategy, some people are on that. Then during it just doesn't feel organic, and it's just such a mess with road courses, and I just can't stand it. It's just not really fun to watch when I know it's just like, well, they're not going to be where they are because some people are going to pit somewhere. And even then, like, we had no green flag passes for the lead after the initial start, which were complete chaos, and just 4 people spun on the first lap, or in the first 2 laps there were 6 people that spun. Some of them are driver error, but the other ones because of turn 1 being stupid. But yeah, that track, I didn't think much of it last year with turn 1. But turn 1 might be the dumbest and awfulest corner. And I know none of those words make any sense. But this race made no sense. So it's just perfectly fitting for all this bullshit. So, yeah. You have this track that's... And I can't say it's like super duper wide in the straightaways. But you go from this and in the corner, it's like that. It's like such a sharp angle turn. And it just bunches the field up. And it's just bumper cars. It's embarrassing. Most of the drivers, I can't even really put fault at, because they're put in this stupid situation at this awful track that even IndyCar races aren't always great there. So it's just they only go there for the dumb bullshit reason of to say that they're at Indianapolis, which at this point, with how the Gen 7 cars seem to run at bigger tracks, it's gotta be better than the road course, even if it's still bad. It has to be better than the road course, because that was just an embarrassing race. We'll get to the stupid shit later. But the first 2 stages, nothing much happened. It was so uneventful that I took a fucking nap, because my will to care just stopped. Because all that was interesting is turn 1, because it's stupid. This is why I don't have hope for the Chicago street course, because like with those super duper narrow corners, like it's gonna be a shit show. It's gonna be an utter uncavalcated shit show. Will it be good? But we're gonna be stuck there for another couple of years while Chicagoland dies, just for a gimmick that may or may not work. But it's just like, I don't have high hopes for it. But it's just like, yeah, it's just Indy road course was a complete disaster. Second year in a row where it's a disaster. Not to the biblical assholery proportions of last year, but they're pretty neck and neck. They're pretty right next to each other. Because it was still horrendously awful. The first 2 stages were just uneventful. It was just bad. Not much happened. I can't even remember a whole lot. The tires didn't even matter. You have people like Ryan Blaney and other people that didn't even pit the end of stage 1, stay out, still maintain the lead for quite a long time. So the tires didn't matter. Track position was so key to the point where, like I said, people can stay out on older tires, still be completely fine. And yeah, there was one good moment at the beginning of stage 3 that was cool. And I don't remember if Christopher Bell stayed out, if he pitted, or what the context was, because I can't remember, because I watched like highlights after stage 2. But there was some good racing. I don't know if it's genuine, because Bell might have been on a different tire strategy, and that's why we had like this good battle for a lead, because it literally had to take someone being off sequence, but it took basically the best car all day. And even then still took him some time to get around Bell, but it was like under the dubious circumstances, that was alright. That was okay. But that doesn't save the other 80 plus laps of either mediocrity or complete clown shit show city. Then we get into a horrific incident with Larson and Ty Dillon. Larson lost his brakes and hit him. And violent hit. And thank God everyone's okay, because that looked terrible. And yeah, this track is just like that's not even the worst of it. That's just like, because of that, it set up this absolutely insane. Can I even say the word retarded? I don't know. I don't want to get. I'm gonna get canceled for it anyways. But whatever. No one cares about me. But like, just a stupid dumb finish. And just a dumb set of circumstances. First, we got dumbass Joey Logano. Lord behold, he does something stupid on track. Who would have thought? Wow, it's almost like I called this like 10 years ago. But does something stupid on the restart. Makes it like 5 or 6 wide. And his car is like way off the racing surface. It just kiboshes people, boots them out of the way. There's no racecraft in that. There's no anything. Him and Chastain, we'll get to fucking Chastain later, because holy goddamn shit. But Logano just... Logano's so funny, because then he complains about, like, a Talladega when he flips, like, oh, we gotta worry about driver safety. Yeah, he does stupid shit at restrictor plate tracks and other absolutely dumb stuff, and then he does stupid stuff like that needlessly, as it borderline to say, put drivers' safety at risk, but, like, definitely in terms of stupidity, it's just top of the line dumb. He did all that for 6th. What a goddamn champion. That's our champion, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happens when you get a gimmicky format that doesn't deserve honest, genuine champions, and you get that dumbass to be a champion. It's just so fucking stupid. That was dumb. That was just awful. Other incidents in turn 1 can be forgiven with just how dumb that corner is constructed. But Logano, that was just egregious. That was just not giving a fuck. Just there's no racecraft. There's no, like, to me, I feel like racing is an art form when you can get around a person cleanly, working them lap after lap. Booting them out of the way, there's no skill involved. That's just childish video game logic, which is embarrassing. Like, that's shit you do in a Heat 5 lobby, or 21 Ignition, or even iRacing. Like, I'm not lumping iRacing as a video game, but it's just like that kind of mentality where it's like, you know, it's not real life type of thing. But it's like egregious. It's just deplorable scumbag, which nothing new for him, and just senseless. Then we get to Ross Chastain. I despise Ross Chastain this year more than ever, and I get it. I get why NASCAR Nixon despises him. I'm fully aboard this train, because he is a goddamn train wreck on track. So this dumbass, that was a great idea to just forget turn 1 existed. Full throttle, no attempt to slow down. Not even trying to like fake it where it's like, oh, oopsie doodles, my freaking brakes locked up. No, he just goes straight. Goes through the access road. And then in the interview, he thinks that was like what you're supposed to do, or like, no, that's cutting the fucking track. Blatantly. It's blatantly cutting the track. Like, the absolute Mr. Magoo, Chase Elliott googly eye shit. Like, what is he thinking? It's like so bad. It's so bad. He cut the track and he races freaking Reddick needlessly hard when he has no business being up there to begin with. Like, what a moron. What an absolute fucking moron. Like, what other way do I interpret? What the fuck? What? Oh my god, I can't even speak. I can't even say the word. Interpret that as. Like, it's beyond. Like, I don't like. That is a conscious. It was a conscious decision to be an idiot. It just makes no sense. Like, you're only supposed to use that if you honestly make a genuine mistake in turn 1 and then you use that access road. You don't use the access road as a shortcut and then don't think anything's gonna come of it. Like, imagine the shit show, the disaster. Reddick saved NASCAR just like how Blaney saved NASCAR from their own stupid moment where that needless yellow could have messed up the whole finish and Blaney would have lost it. Like, if that happened, it would have been like Reddick saved them from NASCAR being in an absolutely atrocious position again. And this is the same shit to a different degree, but like the same shit that happened last year happened again. Not the same part of the track, but the same set of circumstances. It's atrocious. And then he's side by side with Reddick, racing him hard. Damn near wrecks himself going through the S's. And that could have been a disaster where he wrecks himself trying to keep Reddick behind him, and that could have potentially screwed Reddick out of the win where he deserved it because he was the best car all day. And I'm fine with Reddick. I don't mind him. He's one of the few people that seem to race people decently on track. He could have potentially... It's like... Even though it's potentially... It's like, well, he didn't actually do it, but it could have happened. And it didn't need to happen. NASCAR could have been like, right then and there, as soon as they saw him cut that corner and get back out on track with still the same speed and basically going for the lead, penalize his bitch ass right the fuck away. But no, they didn't. They did it after the fact. Austin Dillon did the same shit. That's not funny. That's not cute. That's just blatantly cutting the course. It pains me because I want to like Chastain. But the shit he does on track and his interview after the fact is disgusting. Is he as bad as Logano? He's in a top 5. He's in that top 5 category. I don't know where he ranks, but he's getting there. He is working up his ladder to being a absolute garbage person on track. The only one that's worse is Gregson because he's like awful off track, so it's like a whole other layer. But it's like he's getting up in that sphere. And it's like every week he does something stupid. And then he didn't after the race. He's like, oh golly gee, I'm sorry. But he doesn't improve from that. He doesn't learn from it and be better. If he dialed it the fuck back a little bit and didn't do shit like cut the track, maybe people would start to like him a little bit. That was atrocious. And that was a complete disaster. And then we can't even forget like the mess that happened in Terminal where everybody's just crashing and wrecking. It was Demolition Derby. It was embarrassing. Daniel Kvyat, which I don't know if that's how you say his last name. He has like first like NASCAR start, and it really didn't go well. But it's like, would he even bother wanting to race in the Cup Series again after that embarrassment that he was a part of? Participated in the event. I wouldn't. That was pathetic. That was stupid. Get the fuck off this track. Stay the absolute fladoodle. Whatever word I don't even know what word I can and can't say because of YouTube's dumb guidelines, but no one cares about me anyway, so it's like, whatever. But get them the absolute hell off this track, of this road course. If you can't do the oval for whatever reason, then don't go there at all. Because is this race really better than the oval? It's more of a shit show, but just because it's a shit show doesn't make it a good race. It was just bottom of the barrel garbage. And the race went from just being bad or just meh or mid, as the youngsters say, to just atrociously bad. There's a difference. Like, it crossed that line and it just got absolutely dumb. But they put these drivers in this really dumb situation at a track that just doesn't work. This is the second year it's been awful. I tried to give it a genuine chance because I was like, okay, well, last year was just atrocious at the end. This year was basically the same, but still just awful. Maybe even worse, but I don't know. It's neck and neck. The point is, if one is slightly better or worse than the other, it's not by a margin that's worth going back there. And we're stuck there for next year too. So, and I heard from David Land that the president of IMS said that the Indy road course is short term. So that implication could potentially mean that, hey, this race, the road course might be gone for 2024, and then they can go try the oval. And if that doesn't work, then just don't go back to that track anymore. Like that's not a crown jewel event. At least not anymore. It doesn't have that same marquee value because it's not. They're not at the old. Not that it was really great to begin with, but it doesn't help in the Gen 6 cars. Most of the time when they went there, basically all the times they went there were awful, and they added the 550 horsepower package, and that was stupid there. So, I mean, look at Pocono. Pocono, people memed on it, say it was awful, but, you know, we went to that race the other previous weekend, it was pretty decent. So it's almost like as if the cars were the problem, not the track. Maybe Kentucky and Chicagoland could be pretty decent races with the Gen 7 cars. I don't know. We'll never know. And I thought when they were making this Gen 7 car that they were making it to be like the 550 power package crap, but then they changed it last second, so like I don't know the whole whatever. This race was an abomination. I'm glad I slept through it because I'm glad I saw the highlights, and I'm glad I did not see this live because this would have been even more of a nuclear rant, but it's just so embarrassing because there's flashes where this car and races work really well. Then you get chances like this. There's so much to even talk about, like freaking Chris Buescher's car being on fire. And he had to go down pit road, and he couldn't get out of the car because if he got out of the car, that would make him just DNF from the whole race, and he couldn't race anymore. So basically, NASCAR made a rule where if there's a fire, a driver basically has to stay in there to still race. I don't know what the fuck that is, but that is just absolutely ludicrous. That's like even a rule. Like the damaged vehicle policy, just so many little things, but the race in general was atrocious. Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, absolute dumbasses. The dumbass duo of the race continue to be embarrassing. And I'm just so tired of it when it happens. God, I hope we don't go to this road course anymore. Like, they killed the Daytona road course after 2 years. But they're gonna have a stronghold on this damn event because it's at Indy. It has marquee because it's a media publicity stunt. But then when they actually watch the race, you get a race where not much happens, and then everybody explodes in turn one because the track is super narrow, and yeah, it was bad. I'm gonna give it a 1.5 out of 10. I usually don't give like half a decimal scores. And that's what I mean. Like this in Texas are two of the worst. This is definitely the worst points race of the season. Worse than Martinsville, because Martinsville was just uneventful. There wasn't like egregious, crazy shit happening. That was just awful. So that's why I'm giving this a 1.5. It's just one tiny mark above Texas, but it could honestly go either way. It could be a 1. But then I would be comparing it to the same. So I don't know. Would it be a 0.5? I don't know. But around the 1 range, I think is fair enough. Maybe I'm being even too generous. I don't know. Just because there was that one tiny element of the race where Bell and Reddick were going for the lead. That was kind of neat. So maybe that's where that half a point comes from. Because Texas didn't even have that. So I don't know. But that's my thoughts. A lot longer video than it needed to be. But there was a lot to say. And this was just an atrocious display of racing by Joey Logano and Ross Chastain to such levels I can't even comprehend. And the fact that Chastain thought that was okay, that he thought it was legal, I mean, it is just insane. I mean, it's just God, I don't even know what to say. I'm drained from just thinking about this race. So let's go to Michigan. Just hope it just isn't a disaster. I mean, I like to think it can. I can't be, but I don't know. But I'm done. Have a good day, everyone.